Welcome to Shift from Burley and Wharfdale Methodist Church. I'm Phil Kershaw. In this series we're going to take you on a staycation. Join us along the footpaths, through the fields, beside the rivers and past the ruins in our very own local area, the Yorkshire Dales. We're going to look at what it means to stay hopeful, stay active, stay refreshed, stay focused, stay nourished and stay firm.
In today's session, we're going to pull on our walking boots, pick up our rucksacks and get them on our backs, and set out to explore the hills of the Yorkshire Dales. Probably the best known are the three peaks that form the Yorkshire Three Peaks Challenge, namely Pen-y-Ghent, Whernside and Ingleborough. These peaks form part of the Pennine Range and encircle the head of the valley of the River Ribble in the Yorkshire Dales National Park. The Three Peaks Challenge is to walk up all three in one day following a circular route of 24 miles, which usually takes around 12 hours to complete. There are organised events every year between April and October where you get a mountain leader to guide you and navigate you. Or you can organise it yourself. Either way, there's a list of equipment that you are advised to take with you to cover all potential emergencies that you may face. This list ranges from sun cream to an emergency shelter. What a sense of achievement you must feel after reaching the top of the final peak, after overcoming the inevitable difficulties of the day. But at a deeper level, as we go through our own life climbing the hills in front of us, what equipment do we need to stay focused on the task ahead? When we don't feel able to carry on, when we feel like giving up, who do we turn to for help? Who can we trust? And where there are hills, there are valleys. How do we stay focused as we navigate the valleys, where they be in the beautiful Yorkshire Dales amongst the rocks and rivers, or the low places we find ourselves in our lives? How do we keep our eyes looking upward and stay focused?
I have a kit list here from the Yorkshire Three Peaks Challenge. Walking boots with ankle supports, not trainers, head torch, waterproof jacket and trousers, hiking socks, backpack, water, snacks, pasta, cereal bars, fruit, nuts, gloves, hat, sun cream, sunglasses, walking poles and a backpack rain cover. Lots of essential equipment for the challenge of the Three Peaks, but according to the website, the most important and the most common kit issue is walking boots. But why are they the most important? More so than waterproofs or water or snacks? Well, as the Go Outdoors website says, looking after your feet as a walker is one of the most important things you can do. Choosing walking boots can often be confusing, but choosing the right pair of boots can mean the difference between a comfortable day walking or a painful and in some cases dangerous walk. Unlike buying normal shoes where aesthetics are often a major factor, walking boots need to be chosen for purpose. It's important to consider a range of aspects like what terrain will you be taking on? When will you be walking? Are the boots right for your foot shape? As someone who has walked the 25-mile Troller's Trot several times, I can vouch for the importance of good boots, having almost crawled the last 8 miles on one occasion with painful blisters. The first 17 miles were fine, including some steep climbs and descents, but it was the last 8 miles, which was across virtually flat terrain, that was most difficult, where every single step was painful. Several pieces of equipment that you may think are missing from that list are a map and a compass, but there are probably a few reasons for that. Most of these walks are led by an experienced guide, so they will know where they are going, and you will be a part of a big group of 10. The paths are well trodden and identifiable. And finally, the 3 peaks are by definition difficult to miss, so it's not likely you're going to lose sight of them, more so that you may struggle on the climbs or descents, or the weather will hamper your progress. But if you look on the Tips for Hill Walking website, it says this: be sensible about not overreaching yourself on a mountain hike. Don't push yourself or your party beyond your limits, and cut your walk short if you are tiring or the weather is worsening and you are not confident of either your skills or your equipment. Leave a route map or other indication of your location with a responsible person and notify this person immediately of your safe return. If a real emergency occurs, the international distress signal is a group of 6 loud blasts of a whistle to be repeated at 1-minute intervals. And of course, the emergency number in the UK is 999, but you should ask for mountain rescue. Yorkshire is famous for both its hills and dales, but I don't suppose you can have one without the other. One of the most famous Yorkshire dales, or valley, is the Valley of Desolation, which is situated near Simon's Seat. This might seem a bit of a strong name for such a peaceful place, but as some of you may know, it was given this name after the Great Storm of 1826 that devastated the area, felling trees and taking out much of the area's plant life. Over 8,000 new conifers were replanted in order to replace the lost trees, and nature has long since repaired the damage. However, the name has stuck. Walking through the Yorkshire countryside, you get a wide variety of terrain and views within a few miles. The barrenness of the moors, the wooded glades and the bracing peaks, where often you can see into neighbouring counties while your hat strains to detach itself from your head. Variety is the spice of life, to say, and so is walking in Yorkshire. But life itself is often like that, soaring peaks and claustrophobic valleys where the way ahead is unclear. However, sometimes we get worried about being exposed on the peaks. Yes, we can see the way ahead and see where we've come from, but it may be daunting seeing all the difficulties ahead, the steep descents and the lung-bursting ascents. It may be uncomfortable to look back and see all the mistakes we've made, all the situations we wish we had never gotten into, all the regrets and disappointments, all the failures and missed opportunities we would rather forget. We may also be buffeted by the strong winds or stung in the face by rain and hail. And so are the valleys so much of a problem? Yes, our view may be restricted. We may not be able to see the ultimate destination, but if we're lucky, we can see the next step and then the next step. Of course, there will be times when a mist has risen up from the river, and even seeing that far ahead is difficult. But in most valleys, we are not going to fall that far if we lose our footing, as compared to the size of the potential drop when we're on the top of a hill. Maybe it is safer down here, taking one step at a time, not looking too far ahead, sheltered from the wind, not so easy to go off track. However, underfoot may get boggy, bridges may be missing, stepping stones unpassable because of the height of the river. We might also get boxed in. We may get to a position where the sides become too steep that the only way out is to turn around and go back the way we came. We did not notice that our choices were becoming so restricted. Of course, it's not just Yorkshire that is famous for its hills and vales. The first time I went to Scotland, I walked with some friends from Dollar near Stirling on a beautiful early spring afternoon into the spectacular Ochil Hills. They had decided to do a spot of wild camping, and so after we reached a suitable spot, I left them to pitch camp and started my return to Dollar. The sun was still bright and the view spectacular. However, the way clear was not so clear. I had started my return confident that I knew exactly where I was going, but in the absence of clear paths, I found myself drifting down into the valley where lay a steep and at sometimes dangerous ravine. It seemed no matter how many scrambles up the hillside I made, I soon found myself back in a similar situation, dangerously close to a steep gully. To make matters worse, the light was fading as dusk approached. These were the days before mobile phones and map apps, so I just had to try and stay calm and carry on. Anyway, I eventually managed to find the right path and descended through the well-marked tracks and bridges of Dollar Glen back into the picturesque town of Dollar as dusk finally descended. As I did this, all the worries of the previous hour seemed to fade away and almost became unreal. But looking back now, it obviously made an impression on me. How suddenly you can be on top of the world, taking in all the views, enjoying the warmth of the sun, when without realizing it, you are minutes away from stumbling into a deep ravine. Earlier, the pathway up into the hill seemed so clear and obvious, but on my return, I discovered it was only one of several ways back. From walking with others who were more experienced hill walkers and navigators, who were well prepared and focused, I had to rely on myself, someone who was unprepared, ill-equipped, and had not stayed focused during my walk into the hills. I had relaxed in the beauty and warmth and become distracted. I had become complacent that things would always be that easy. But in the same way that a swan appears to glide effortlessly through the water only because its legs are furiously paddling underneath, we need to stay focused both through the good times and the bad times. So can we apply some of these lessons in how we live our lives? As a Christian, I believe that we journey through life through the ups and downs, that God is traveling with us. Probably the most well-known psalm in the Bible is Psalm 23. For me, the psalm encapsulates the nature of God and our relationship with him. Verse 4 says, "Even in the valleys of our lives, he is there alongside us, protecting us, comforting us." I've tried to incorporate all these thoughts into an mnemonic focus. F is for foundation. The most important pieces of our hill walking kit are walking boots. They are the foundation on which everything else is built. Without them, we are in trouble. In life, my foundation is a promise of God that he will always be there for me, a solid rock on which I can depend, no matter what, no matter whether I am feeling weak or strong. O is for observe. We need to keep our eyes open to see where we are going, to spot the obstacles before we trip over them, to not get distracted by all the activity behind us or to the side. I know that as I walk through life, God is looking out for me, clearing obstacles and being a beacon that I can keep my eyes on when I am in danger of getting distracted. C is for contact. If you are hill walking, you either need a companion you can rely on, or if you're on your own, you need someone you can contact in an emergency. And ideally, that someone knows where you are planning to walk. I know that God is with me wherever I am, on top of a hill or in a deep, dark valley, that he cares for my welfare, that he is my companion and emergency contact. U is for undeterred. Our walk through life isn't always easy, and we are often tempted to give up and turn back when things get difficult. But with God in my life, I know he can provide focus and hope when I need it most. He can keep me going forward when I am tempted to go back. And finally, S is for stamina. We are in for the long haul, not a short sprint. In hill walking and in life, we need stamina to keep us going right to the end. To prepare ourselves for a hill walk, we can train on shorter walks to build up our stamina. But in life, developing our relationship with God through prayer, through worship, through service, we can build up stamina to keep us facing up to life, whatever it throws at us. So when I face the ups and downs of life, I know I can trust in him.
Letting go of every single dream, I lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wandering never changes what you see. I try to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Mighty warrior, king of the fight, no matter what I face, you're by my side. When you don't move the mountains, I needed you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. Truth is, you know what tomorrow brings. There's not a day ahead you have not seen. So let all things be my life and breath. I want what you want, Lord, and nothing less. When you don't move the mountains, I needed you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. You are my strength and comfort, you are my steady hand, you are my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. Your ways are always higher, your plans are always good. There's not a place where I go you're not already stirred. When you don't move the mountains, I needed you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire. In the darkest night, you are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend. I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness